What's up, everybody? It's Ryan Rex here today with a very special guest. I'm really stoked on this one. Been a fan for a very long time. We have Jesse Korman of the number 12. Looks like you. What's up, man? How you doing?
Hello, I'm good. What is up? How's it going?
I can't complain. It's a little overcast here in California. Looks like we're gonna get some rain, which I don't complain because I live in the Mojave and I like rain.
Yeah, I mean it's better than our 7-degree weather here, the wintry tundra of New Jersey. So
I
I'll
think
take that.
right. I mean, I think the weather in New Jersey kind of just like hardens up the band leather, it just makes you guys tough as hell. I mean, some of the toughest music in the world comes from New
Tough,
Jersey,
tough, makes us super emo, and then we
right?
scream, creating screamo. So there you go. Yeah, well, the weather creates our genre of New Jersey bands.
I feel like that is without a doubt a true fact. So let's just kick it off, man. So I know from personal experience, just knowing because I have an internet connection, but some people would probably ask, like, how did you come up with the name The Number 12 Looks Like You? And me being me, I know it's an episode of Twilight Zone, but my question on that is like, did you guys like really like this episode, or was it kind of just like, oh, cool, this episode's called The Number 12 Looks Like You. Cool, that's our name. All right, I don't even know what this episode's about, but
It was a little bit of both. We were all fans of Twilight Zone. So I think Alex had sort of stumbled across it first. He's like, oh, this is pretty crazy concept here. What about this as our name? And I think we had some really weird names flying back and forth all around. And I think that was like, yeah, the other ones are really weird, but this one is entry level weird. So we stuck with that.
yeah, you want to be digestible. But I mean, I think that's kind of perfect though, because Twilight Zone kind of like sets the stage kind of because like you never know what you're gonna get out of a number 12 looks like you song, just like an episode of Twilight Zone. It's just kind of like it kind of sets the stage and sets the tone.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of part of what we were doing then was like so many of these bands coming out of Jersey had a very specific direction and sound and look that all got married together. And we just every time we saw whatever everyone else was doing, where we just felt like we just needed to do opposite. Just like, oh, they're all printing on black shirts. Let's do it on pink. They're printing, you know, uh, their band in the middle of the chest. Let's put it on the side where no one sees it. It was just questionable decisions, but who cares? It all worked out.
I think that kind of that works though, because it's like you want to be unique and you want to stand out. And I feel like with how saturated the scene in New Jersey would be, I think that kind of like worked in your favor because here you are now. It's like over 20 years later, and you guys are still kicking.
Yeah, 20. This will be 25 years this year.
Dang, man, how does that feel though to say that? Like you're like, I know there was a little interim, a little hiatus here and there,
Yep.
but I mean, the music still lived on, whether you guys wanted to like call it quits or not. Like people are still hounding you, like, when's number 12 coming back? And
Yeah,
like
yeah.
now that's 25 years, like looking back, like how does that feel to you?
I guess kind of feels like a fever dream, to be honest.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like
It's
I wouldn't,
yeah.
yeah, I mean, so like starting out from like, in New Jersey and you guys kind of just like hit the ground running and then you guys got picked up by Eyeball Records, which is a who's who of just kind of all kinds of great bands out of New Jersey and just like kind of like a who's who of just the scene. I mean, My Chemical
Hmm.
Romance used to be on that label. Like, can you compare that to, because I know that wasn't your first label, but that was kind of like your first stepping stone towards getting like, powering up, leveling up to getting on there. So, like, did like being a New Jersey band help you get taken care of on that label?
Yeah, because it was just primarily all Jersey bands, Jersey guys, Jersey bands, local indie label, and yeah, I mean the label had at that time it was Thursday, My Chemical Romance. They were just Midtown. They were just slaying every album
Right?
from that point at that era. And then when we had saw seen Jeff from Thursday come to one of our shows in Jersey. We're like, what the fuck is the singer for Thursday doing here? This is crazy. And he, I think he was there with Alex from Eyeball, but Jeff was one who signed us to Eyeball Records. And there was, and that was it. And it was just like, you guys want to be part of this? We're like, whoa, this is for real. Because, legendary local label.
Right?
So it's cool as hell. The other label, Brutal Records. I mean, it's funny to
Yeah.
even say we were on a different record label before. Brutal Records was some really great guys. I forget their names, Enoch and somebody else. Great guys, but they
Yeah.
were the ones who had told us we need a couple more songs for this EP that we made. So
Yeah.
we wrote Don't Get Blood on Your Prada Shoes and Bambi the Hooker in a Case of Beer. And we went up to Boston and we recorded it in like 2 days, both songs. And they were the ones who convinced us we needed to record that. Then we took it back to the guy who recorded all the other songs on Rosy Red. And then he mixed it. And then that was the birth of Put On Your Rosy Red Glasses. And that was it.
The rest is history, they so say, you know?
Rest is history. 25 years later, a decade and a half, 2 decades and a half later.
Yeah, because it's like you guys formed in 2001. And I mean, I know you guys like, because Wikipedia told me so. You never like try to
Sure.
be like, we're gonna be a metalcore band, we're gonna be a emo band, we're gonna be like you guys kind of always have had this like, hey, every genre is fair game. But like when you guys were first starting out, was it kind of just like, let's just be random as hell? Or was it kind of like, I like jazz fusion, you like metal, he likes reggae, let's just kind of just throw this all
Yep.
together? Like that
That's
was basically
exactly
it.
it. We were all individually ingredients in this pot of stew, and
Yeah.
we all just came from our own corners of the world. So we didn't ever try to be like, oh, we got to go weirder like this. It was just like, well, this is kind of cool. What about this? Whoa, weird. Sure. What about this? And it just kept. That was it. It was just we would contribute another thing that was just like, whoa, that's kind of weird. Yeah, yeah, let's get and that was it. It was just for us, we were just trying to make something that sounded interesting to us. It wasn't really like trying to go out of our way to be like, oh, that's not weird enough. We need to go crazier. It was just like we were like, oh, what about, I'll just do this like inhale scream over this whole part. It's like, oh, that's cool. And we
Go
just
for
kept kind of like making this weird. That's all. That's all it was. The ball just kept rolling.
Nice. Is that like was that like an experience? Because I'm sure you guys this wasn't like I mean, unless it was your guys' like first band, but usually people have like horrible experiences in bands where it's like you got one guy going, no, we gotta sound like this, we gotta do what this band's doing, we gotta do all that. And like does that come from like experience or was just everyone just came like, installed chill as fuck?
That's it. We just came and we were, I mean, teenagers, our first band. So
Oh wow.
that was it. They were teenagers. We like, I just got my license, and
Yeah.
that was it. There was no one who was trying to sound like anything. We obviously had our influences, of course, but like there
Yeah.
was no, we got to sound like whatever. It was nothing like that. It was just the fact that like we were making something that made sense to us. That's it. Like it was again, it was just sort of making entertaining ourselves with our own music and be like, oh, this is fun. This is weird. And people cared.
It's like I like this stew. Let's keep making this stew.
Like it tastes pretty good. Let's keep adding in more ingredients and make it bigger.
Right. So like you guys, you're playing shows and people like kind of absorb that random sound. Like would like you guys get people coming up to you at shows being like, "Whoa, I like how random you guys are," and it kind of like let something click in your head where it's like, "Hey, this method's working, so we should probably just keep on doing that."
I mean, it definitely helped, I guess, but at the same time, it was just more like I mean, when you're young, everything is new to you. So
Yeah.
when you're hearing the radio or whatever it was, it's like, oh, that's really cool. What if we did something that was like, and just inspiration was everywhere, and
Yeah.
we didn't have to fit anywhere because we also just didn't care. Like
All right.
I remember we would play our first shows in Jersey, and we were just inviting all of our friends because we're like no one's ever going to come to our shows, so we just got to get all of our friends to show up. And if we play for our friends, then that's a win. And then one show led to the next show. Like, whoa, who are they? We don't know them. And then the next show was, whoa, who are all those people? We don't know them. And it just kind of kept being, we just kind of kept getting surprised when there was people coming that we didn't know. It was shocking.
Right. And I think it's a testament to your guys' sound because like, you tour with like Dillinger Escape Plan or The Fall of Troy, and it's like those guys are definitely in your wheelhouse, but I think there's a certain level of insanity and intensity to the number 12 looks like you that you guys even like you still manage to stand out because it's like, you know, they do it their way, but there's only one way to do it the number 12 looks like you way, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
with touring with bands like that and having like those similar sounds, was it always kind of like, dang, those guys are really, really sick. Like maybe we should do something like was there like thought processes going into how to like make yourself unique during like those live performances?
Not really, but there were again, the we definitely toured with those bands as and watched them as inspiration. Like we were very
Yeah.
inspired by them because we're like, whoa, that's amazing. But it was never like a competition per se. It was more just like, man, it really wanted us to get back home and it inspired us to get back home and just continue to keep going because it's like, whoa, when when you grow up in Jersey and your world is this, and then you go on tour as a teenager and your world becomes this, and then you meet another band and your world becomes this, your world, just like any human being, gets bigger. And so when that happens, you want to explore those new territories more. So that's what it was. It was constantly, it was being these local Jersey kids who knew of our world. And then it just kept growing. We'd go to the West Coast, we'd meet up with Ultra, we'd go, meet with Dillinger guys, and then we just kept seeing this new world unfold in front of us. And, mind you, at that time, the scene was still very much developing. It's like now you, we have access to everything. We can watch anything, see anything, everything. But then everything was still like there was so many layers. And so for us, it was like, whoa, you could, like Thomas from Fall Troy is doing a solo while he's singing. We're like, whoa. And then we would just all hype each other up, and it was just, it was just so fun. It was just like, it just made us push what we were doing more aggressively. So it was basically amplifying what we tinkered with, get back home, and we just got so fired up and we're like, do it to the next level. And then we do nuclear, sad nuclear. Then it was mongrel. And then it was just like we just kept being like, let's step it up even more because that, so we would be inspired. It was just, it was, yeah, it was wild.
Right. And if anyone listening, if you're not familiar with the Fall of Troy,
I'm sure they are.
seeing Thomas, I'm sure they are, but just in case,
Just in
he's
case.
not underselling it. Literally, if you see Thomas Eric shredding and screaming and singing at the same time, you're literally gonna go like it's literally like it. That guy's wild, and I've had the
The
pleasure
guy
of
is
interviewing
wild.
Thomas before. He's a great guy, always fancy dressed. He's got style, man, and he just did a
He
tour
is.
with the Ouroboros. He just did a solo album through Equal Vision. You guys are also signed to Equal Vision. That was like a recent thing that happened within the last year, I want to
Yep.
say.
Yep.
You guys, how you guys enjoying that? I think this is you guys have been on Equal Vision before, have you not?
Nope. This is our first time
No?
on EVR. This is first time. We haven't even released an album with Equal Vision yet. So we've only done two singles with them.
Yeah.
Um, and we have something in the works. Um,
Um,
but that's yeah, we've never even done an album with them. But as the head of Equal Vision, Dan Sancho, as he would say, he was like, you guys are always Equal Vision family. He's like, you were the extended family because we did everything with all of their bands, whether it was
oh,
Fall of Troy, Fear Before, Chiodos. I mean, we were just constantly with all of their
oh,
Equal Vision bands.
well, I'm actually surprised because it's like it just seemed like a natural fit because I know you did I believe unless Wikipedia is lying to me, but I'm pretty sure I read it in the liner notes for Bone Palace Ballet that
Yeah.
you do a feature on that album. I believe it's The Undertaker's Thirst for Revenge.
It's two songs. It's the
Yeah,
first track and another track.
yeah. I believe Undertaker and is it Progression if a cannibal uses a fork? I believe
I only
those are the
know
two.
I actually don't know the titles, but it's two songs.
Like I'm there, I swear.
I was
That's like
there.
it just seems like a natural fit that you guys would be on Equal Vision because you
I
guys
know.
have definitely. I think every time I've seen you on tour is with the Fall of Troy, so it's just like it
I
just makes
know.
sense. It's like that's just home already. I feel like
I
they'll take care of you, man.
They take care of us, but also on top of that, I've been directing so many bands, music videos of all the band, like so many bands on Equal Vision, for the last like 7 years. So it's
Nice,
been
dude.
constantly working with their ever growing roster.
Yeah. Do you have any bands that you have worked with recently you want to shout out, like so people can take a look at your videography if they're
Um,
unfamiliar?
yeah, yeah, I mean, I have everything up on my website, but so tomorrow is well, no one knows it. It's not like this is coming out tomorrow, anyways. But I Am the Avalanche comes out tomorrow, so I just shot that. Um, then before that was Hail the Sun. I did about I feel like it's four music videos I did for their last album.
Nice, dude.
Ton of hot
Those are
water
thick.
music ones. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I saw
Tom,
those Hell the Sun's coming out swinging, man. Just to see their
yeah,
growth over the last few years, they're swinging hard as fuck, man. Donovan's
they
one of the
are.
hardest working dudes out there, man.
I know he's killing it, killing it. So. Yeah, we shot the one music video here, just in this room, um, on green screen, and all the hot water music stuff, um, bouncing souls stuff. There's some other stuff in the works. Yeah, it's great. It's Ecovision is family.
Yeah. So like the creative process, like compared to like when because you scream and you sing and you write lyrics in number 12, compared to like videography and kind of like directing and channeling, like being a conduit for other people's creativity, what would you say, like, if you could compare and contrast like what you like about one compared to the other?
Well, I mean, it's a loaded question, I guess, because my love-hate relationship with band is going to always be that. I think anyone who is
Hmm.
in the band is always going to feel like it's so you're so personally connected to it, you know? So it's like
Hmm.
you kind of hate yourself, you love yourself. It's like, it's just something that you I feel like you got to like in the band, you have to be in the right place mentally to do the band. Like you can't just do it to be like, oh, I mean, in our scene, like sure, like if you're Tate McRae or whatever it is, like you do it and you make a ton of money, that's your livelihood. But I feel like for our kind of scene, it's such a reflection of you as a person and as an artist. So like
Hmm.
I would say it's tough being in a band. It's tougher being in a band in 2026. Um,
Oh yeah.
and being a music video director, that's a job. It's
Hmm.
a reflection of someone's music. Like when me and Thomas, Eric, one of my oldest friends in the entire world, it's when we're doing the Ouroboros music video, it was it was trying to take what their music and their art is, something that is, I know, very personal to them, but not take it in a way that it's become my vision. It's a collaborative vision. It's turned into tell me some ideas, tell me about the lyrics, and then I'm sort of creating a visual for what they've already done. So to me, it takes that like heaviness off of my back, where like number 12, I'm putting everything out there. I mean, all my
All right.
feelings, all my emotions, years of fucking building and years of vulnerability, and it's like very, it's very intrusive. It's very damning.
And like, you know, I know some people might just assume like number 12 looks like you is just like a random band, but like you tackle a lot of like heavy subject matter at times. And it's like it takes, like when you're working with other people, you kind of have like, I got to meet their expectations, but the pressure and the scrutiny on yourself isn't there because it's like, well, of
Hmm.
course you want to make it look good, but you don't have to go look it through a lens and you're like, that's my creativity up there and it looks like shit. I don't like that. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, yeah,
you have
yeah.
someone else's opinion and they're like, that looks so sick.
Oh, it's
And those,
also it's their thing, that's
yeah,
theirs. I'm just being hired as a person to try to. I look at myself as sort of glasses, like they have the vision, and they created the music, but then I come in to clear up their vision and sort of help see things a bit sharper. And it's like, oh yeah, that's what I want. Yes, yes. And so it's just putting on glasses and being able to see what their vision actually was.
Okie dokie. So on that note, so because those Ouroboros videos were really good. I wanted to definitely mention that because those things are clean. Like Thomas Eric looks clean in those videos, and just not just his style, but the cinematography and all that is like
Thank you.
really clean. Like I want to compliment you on that for
Oh,
sure
thank
because
you.
the Fall of Troy, like Phase FC premix, like that one video is like iconic. So the fact
Yep.
that you have like a feather in your cap where you're making just as cool videos is always awesome, dude. Of
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
course, of course. So um now that you're with Equal Visions, I know that we talked like a week or so ago, and I'm surprised me that you weren't on Equal Visions before. You also let me know that number 12 only played Warp Tour for like one show, and I don't I'm shocked because it's like why wouldn't Warp Tour want like super sick vibes, but like that one show you guys played at Warp Tour, what was that like? Like, because the festival circuit is a lot different than traveling to bars and venues and all that. Like,
Yeah.
what was your one Warp Tour experience like?
I mean, it was so long ago. It was, it was just craziness, and we got added on last minute, and it was, similar to Bamboozle, which was the big one here.
Hmm.
Just madness. But the people, one thing that I realized was as cool as I would have, as amazing as I think it would have been to be on Warped Tour, seeing how tired everybody was and how just gross everybody felt. I was like, oh my God, this is not for me. And then you start reading some of the stories many years later of how tough and grueling some of that stuff was.
Oh
And
yeah,
we've done our fair share. We did, when we did Sounds of the Underground, we had a taste of that punishing, those punishing drives in the most brutal of the temperatures, like the hottest of the
yeah,
hottest, and playing at 2 p.m. On a Thursday in Arkansas. It's like it's just stuff that is like what? So the festival circuit, I think it was cool that we have had done that in the day. There's I can't imagine anyone's going to ever make an offer to us in our 40s that we're going to be like, fuck yeah, let's do it. Like, I think that there is a time like the Warp Tour crowd. I did go to the Atlantic City Warp Tour in 2019. They played in Atlantic City here in Jersey, and it was the one off. I don't think it was like the touring thing. I think it was just like the one off, and it was awesome. But like,
oh yeah.
man, I don't know, man. That festival world, it's just like like my ears are just tired. I sound like an old man, but like I don't think I was really ever that much of a fan of festivals. Even when I first went to Warped Tour in '97, like one of the first
Yeah,
years it started, it's exciting when you're a kid because you're just like, new band, here's Eminem, here's Deftones. Like it's just crazy. But then when you get
right,
older, it's just like you're just so overwhelmed with everything. It's so much stimulation. So I think
right.
for the young crowd, it's sick, it's rad. But for a 25-year-old veteran me, I don't think so.
We definitely had Warped Tour because I grew up in SoCal. They had it at Pomona, which was just like
Oh
a
yeah.
dust, just the
Oh,
fair play, just a dust. So when you leave at the end of the day, you got like pounds of dirt coming out your nose, and you're just
oh,
beaten by the heat. And I feel sorry for some of those bands because it's like, yeah, you guys had Warped Tour water, but some people they can't find that water, and they're living off energy drinks and hot
yeah,
dogs and
right.
shakes.
Dude, it's crazy to think about. It's like fucking Mad Max, You're just in this post-apocalyptic world and you're trying to have a good time. It's just like, where does this make sense in the world? I don't get it.
And I mean, the current model of Warp Tour is kind of like a 3-day festival spread out over
Yeah,
like a
yeah,
month and a half.
yeah,
And I think that seems a little more doable for a 25
totally.
year,
I agree.
25 entrant. And I think Warp Tour is doing a disservice to itself, not having the number 12 looks like you. And I just seen they added I Set My Friends on Fire, which I feel like, those are one of those bands that kind of like, played it like once or twice, like, they were on for a couple and then,
Yeah,
to
yeah,
have them come back because they've had like, they make their own little games out of it of like
yeah.
not getting invited to When We Were Young or stuff like that. So the possibility that number 12 looks like you could be shredding it to the masses because those crowds are insane, man. Those things
Yeah.
look great. And I think if any band deserves a crowd like that just to go wild onto, I think number 12 would be perfect.
Well, thank you. But it's it's okay if we don't. I understand the like we're just at the age now where we know where our world lives, you know.
Yeah.
Really our best place is a VFW hall. That's
Hmm.
like like when they say when you see these interviews with big directors and they're like, you gotta watch, we do all this hard work, you have to watch it in the cinema, you have to watch our movie in on IMAX, don't watch it on your phone. It's kind of the same with bands, in my opinion. Say for someone like us, we were never a band that you watch on the massive stage where you get it. You're like, I get it. This is fantastic. We're so chaotic and there's so much nuances in a big room, which we just sound like a mess. We look like a mess, we sound like a mess. But put us in a tiny basement or a VFW hall and promise you will have it will be like, what the fuck was that? And then that's sort of like where we live and where we've always been okay with that.
I mean, as somebody that has seen you at 1720 and the underground
Yeah.
in Mesa, Arizona, I can say
Oh,
that you guys both work well in
oh,
either
thank you.
environment. I think venue, a little basement, like it definitely lends to the experience. But to see you on a big stage, I don't think like you would be, I don't think you would be, not a round peg in a round hole. I think you guys could fit in there, and for sure, I think people need some little randomness in their life where if it's a mess, like bring that basement to the stage. You know what I
That's
mean?
right. Yeah. Dude, I'm all about that. Oh man, I know there's not many basements to be booked out there, but it's fun as hell.
I agree, man. And it's like, you know, I'm sure being like your genre and sometimes being that sore thumb on the lineup where you're like you don't kind of fit in. I'm sure you've gotten some wild reactions from people who are just kind of like, "What is this band?" Like, do you have any stories of people that have come up to you after your set going just like, "Dude, what the?"
Um, yeah, I mean that's pretty common. Just people just very confused or shocked or just like, all right, and
I get it. I
being
don't get it, but I get it.
yeah, I mean being the singer, being able to like see the reactions firsthand when we're just pummeling and people just sort of like, "Ugh," the Homer Simpson meme just disappearing. It's like I'm not I'm no stranger to it. It's okay. I know it's weird. I know it's not very palatable. That's fine. It's like music, our music, it really isn't for everyone, and I get it. So like, if people don't enjoy the music, we're just putting on a fucking show. Like we're just going for it, and we're just trying to make people like, whoa, this is really weird. Evoke some kind of emotion.
Right? It's kind of like that Mac quote from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia where he's like, "Laughs are cheap. I'm going for
I'm
gas."
going for gas. Yeah. I still say that quote. Laughs are cheap. I'm going for gas. I love that quote. It's so good.
It's so good. Yeah, it's just perfect. And I think that kind of like,
That
I know
connects.
that yeah. I think the days of putting samples in songs is kind of over because everything's monetized these days. But I think if number 12 ever had a sample, I think that would just fit in perfectly.
Yeah, I know. True. Everyone's getting their samples taken away.
Yeah, I had Dr. Acula on the show one time and they're just like, "No, we're not putting samples on the new album. We're not doing that."
No. There's no point. It'll just get flagged.
Yeah, it's just it's an unfortunate thing because I think like you were from the heyday of the algorithmless
Yep.
MySpace where it was kind of just like your effort actually returned to you. If you talk to 20 people, 20 people are going to respond to you.
Yep.
And nowadays, that's kind of not the way it works. So, I
No.
mean, given your experience with that, what can you, how would you compare the modern social media scene to the MySpace days?
To be honest, I really wasn't the one who was on MySpace. We had a MySpace for number 12, but I didn't really run it.
Yeah.
So I'm not really sure. But look, I think social media is I think it's totally good for, I think it's great for a lot of bands.
Hmm.
I definitely feel like it's a way of, I think it's another platform. Like when you think about it, when we had started number 12 and any band, you're creating CD packages and you have the CD booklet and you're like, fuck yeah, this is sick. And the band got excited to create artwork for a CD package and then cassette tape and then vinyl, whatever the fuck it is. But like
Yeah.
imagine now being in a band, being able to like create artwork for social media campaigns, music videos, vertical form pieces, uh, Spotify Canvas plays. Like there's such a bigger, wider array of platforms to create more artwork for. So to me, it's
Hmm.
like it's just an extension of artists, musicians being able to like put more visuals out there. Because music videos were so specific to just Fuse, MTV, and that's kind of it. Journey Shoe Store, Hot Topic, like I don't know where else they played music videos, but now you scroll and then it's like, oh look, Knock Loose got another new video here. It's like, and it's cool. Like, and I feel like it's such a resurrection for the music video world. I really do. I feel like but social media made that happen. It's like you don't have to just rely on radio play or MTV and Fuse. You can just post it and hope the algorithm catches on. And then all of a sudden you're watching someone's whole music video. Like, whoa, I love this song. I'm gonna go check out the show. Let me look into it. And that's it.
Yeah. You kind of just blew my mind right now when you said that because it's like you're all talking about like CD booklets and vinyls, whatever, and like only appearing on cable television. It's kind of like, yeah, you got to have a couple, maybe $100 or whatever to get a cell phone these days, but it's like music scene back then was a little more paywalled. You had to buy the CD to see the art. You had to
Mm-hmm.
have a
Yep.
cable subscription with that packet that had MTV2, Headbangers Ball, or
Right.
Fuse TV, and or you had to go pay $30 for a ticket, which was affordable back then.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and to go get that vinyl that wasn't in stores because the FYE just didn't happen to have that demo and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So nowadays, it's like it's kind of in the artist's hand to like, hey, I can give you all this art, and if you like it, go listen to my music on, whatever. You can go listen
And
on
come to a
YouTube. It
show.
comes on every single cell phone. It's already
Yep.
pre-installed.
Yep. Exactly. So, for social media purposes, I think that's why it's great.
No, that's a concise answer, man. I can't disagree with that. I mean, it's kind of like a little more bohemian, like people can.
Yeah.
It's a little more curated because it's not all like, if someone's listening to the number 12 looks like you, it's because they went out and, found it. It wasn't because, big radio, Sirius
Right.
XM was like, let's listen to this.
We never worked for any of that. We never worked in that world. So this to us is the best sort of way to find because we are still underground. Like it's still very much underground music. And this is the best way we're getting our music and our sort of art out there is this underground sort of movement with our band. So
Yeah. Which I think that's kind of like, it takes someone with, a certain amount of testicular fortitude to like kind of like, want to mount into this, DIY scene, which involves a
mhm.
lot of your own footwork. It doesn't, grassroots movements don't go if you don't water your own plants.
Yeah, 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 absolutely.
You know. So now that you guys have had two releases on Equal Visions, is that correct? Like
Yep.
for
Two singles.
something on the horizon, whatever that may be, whatever.
Hard to say. Hard to say.
You know, I don't know. Nobody knows.
Me
It's,
neither. I don't know either.
TBA, to be determined,
That's right.
whatever that may be. But working on these two new music videos and these new singles, How did it feel? Because when you guys came back, you came back with Gallery of Thrills, which I thought was freaking phenomenal. Like that intro just kind of feeling like a carnival, which the music itself feels like a little bit of a circus scene at times,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
um compared to like Gallery of Thrills, which I kind of think was kind of like your own DIY, like we're gonna just push this out ourselves, now working with a label. What would you say, like compare, contrast, like what would you say is the difference working in this environment compared to when you guys came back?
So when we first came back, we were actually signed. I mean, it's due to people thought we had put it out on our own, but we didn't. Wild Gods was out through Overlord Music, which is
Hmm.
our old manager's record label. So
Oh, okay.
Fly South Music, who has Data Remember and a bunch of bands like that, it was out through their label. So Gallery of Thrills and Wild Gods, all that came out there. So it wasn't completely on our own, but with Equal Vision having a proper marketing plan for these songs like Eyes on Fireworks and Into CISO, it's just cool. I mean, I was part of this whole world with all these music videos that I've been doing for them. So, but to be the artist who's having it releases was awesome. Because on Wild Gods, we had some support, but it wasn't anything compared to this support we have now.
Nice. And I mean, that's pretty cool because like it's the ind it's not a major label, it's
No,
independent, so
no.
it can't, yeah. So
I mean, look,
I mean
anyone who's helping us at all, I'm like, you're crazy. Why do you want to fuck with us? So like, I'll take any of the help, but like, we're still just shocked anyone even cares that to get behind us. So we just appreciate any of it.
oh hell yeah, man. I think you guys are well worth the support because it's just whether it's on record or it's live, like you're in for a show no matter what.
Thank you.
Awesome, man. Awesome. So, on one of these singles, I had someone reach out, Aaron Johnson. They saw you play with This Day Forward in 2024. They had Shadow the Hedgehog hair and they wanted to say hi, but they wanted to ask, um, for one of these music videos, you guys use generative AI to kind of like create a commentary on like the oversaturation of it in this scene. And they were just kind of curious, like, what was the commentary? Like, what were you guys trying to say with using generative AI?
I don't even know what video was or what was it?
Let's see. I mean, let me read their for look aspects of use of generative AI and their new material. What commentary they were trying to do? Is it satirical? And I believe it was fireworks. Let me see.
Because fireworks, we had an amazing director who is also a very acclaimed animator. Um,
Hmm.
so his name is Jaco, but yeah, I would say it's kind of like maybe that's the one. But yeah, I mean, if you use any sort of generative AI stuff, I mean, you can look at his work from 20 years ago. He's not an AI artist. Like he's disgusting. He's so nasty. He was doing stuff before anybody else. And my just point of view personally on AI is, listen, like it's very controversial for all the obvious things, and I look at it as if there's ways that you can use certain tools, just like Photoshop. You know, you have Photoshop, and now they have generative fill, whatever. All these things are is just extra tools to create your art. Now, the people who are just making, flyers from scratch with AI, to me, that's like that sucks. You know, I'm a graphic designer, and that was one of my jobs. So that to me is like that sucks. You know, but like if it's something that is um, filling in a corner with something. It's just another tool, you know. Like to me, that's a smart way of using this kind of AI. But people who are making full videos or whatever, I'm just like, yeah, what do like I'm not I'm personally never gonna be able to stop the world of AI. It's happening with or without my taste or not, but I'm not using it for that. And with people like Yako and stuff like that, it's like to me, being able to have it as a tool versus use it as the cornerstone to creating original art, to me is the line. Like you can't. I don't like the idea of like having a blank canvas and generate me this or whatever. Like having the art and then filling in the sort of blanks here and there. That to me is like that's just literally what Photoshop, Illustrator. That's what a lot of these tools have been doing forever.
Yeah. I mean, I can't knock you for that, man. I mean, it's not like you're sitting here going like, "Oh, I need to steal from all these people, and I need to make my art so much better than everything." It's just like it's a tool. It was
It's a
available.
tool. And that's it. That's the same thing I tell everyone. I'm like, if you're using it to create, if you're using Suno to create original music, that's not real. Come on, like that's not real. Or if you're uh using, generate me an album cover with a burning cross, blah, 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 blah. I was like, look at my new album artwork. It's just like you. It just is what it is. You can't take that super seriously. Like that was an artist. It's not like you. That's very obvious, but people are just going to argue about everything. So I'm not here to argue. I'm just trying. Like I think he had the Keanu Reeves. I sort of connected with Keanu Reeves on this one quote where he's like, I'm at just at the point in my life where I don't have it in me to argue anymore. And someone wants to say 1 + 1 is 4. Is like, you're right. Absolutely. Have a good day. Like, go on.
Peace is hard to find these days, and you got to pick and choose your battles. And you're not trying to be malicious with it, so I can't knock you, man. I
Yeah.
can't keep up with I can't stop the steamroll of time. Like, I honestly you hear some of these like Suno and generative artists and you're just like shit, like where is the music industry going to be in like 20 years? Because it's scary. It's scary out there with the kind of
I'm not,
they
yeah,
can't
I'm not getting,
replicate that live show though.
no, I mean, that's for sure. Definitely ain't
Right?
replicating the live show, but look, I mean, what are me and you here gonna like? What are we gonna possibly say to each other that a million other people haven't already said? You know what I mean? Like, we all know
Yeah.
where everything is. Like, nothing's like we can say our own sort of opinions and stuff like that, but like for us, number 12 is gonna be our outlet for creating what we've always been doing since we were teenagers, and that's
Yeah.
musically, visually, everything. So it's like, why? why would we as a band who've been around since 2001 go to this new platform to be like, oh man, like make me a music video and make me a bird and fly me to a nest? And it's just like we never did it that way. But like
Mhm.
bands who are starting now, who are maybe like 15 years old and this is all they know how to do. It's like, how are you going to tell them how to do it like we used to in 2000, like when we made like a cat our first music video? It's like, how are you going to explain to that kid now in 2026, like, oh yeah, you have to hire a director, you have to do this? It's like, I'm broke. I just need some visual to my music. Like, how are you going to tell them like that to don't not go on Kling AI or Chat GPT and just generate a bunch of visuals? Like, they don't see anything wrong with it. They're
Mhm.
just, this is the world that they're in. This is their world is like this. It's very small right now.
Yeah, and you kind of just, I feel like it's one of those things like kind of like Romeo and Juliet, where you kind of try to force them not to do it, and that's just going to make them double down. Like, oh yeah, you're an old boomer. You're just telling me what not to do, and I feel like we're damned if we do, damned if we don't, because
That's
it's
right.
just like,
I agree.
you're gonna end up forcing someone to be like, they're gonna justify their feeling for it, because it's like, oh, this
Yeah.
real artist told me not to do it. Fuck them.
Yep. And then you know what's going to happen? It's going to boom. And
Uh,
dude, look at what's happening on, with all those AI music band, like the musical artists. It's like, come on, there's people who have like millions of plays. And it's just, could you imagine? Like, it's just,
It's
I don't
stressful.
know.
It's stressful because it's like, there's a very human element to the number 12 looks like you. And you would hope that a million human beings would be like, oh, I'm gonna look at these guys because they're gonna rip apart this drum set and this riff and all this. And it's like, no, I want to listen to this robot sing real quick. And it's discouraging. Like it is. Like I can't not,
It's
but
discouraging, but like, I think maybe it's discouraging for us who are in our age. But
yeah.
for a kid, 12, 13, 14-year old, they are growing up in the robotic world. So it may be discouraging for us, but to them, they're just like, well, I don't really know the difference between AI artist and number 12, but this thing sound I like this. So they don't know what integrity means. They don't know what humanizing means. They just like, I like that one, So
Yeah. Well, what can you do? You're
who am I?
damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Who
It's
am I? I'm nobody. I'm just trying to
Aaron
exist.
put a footnote though. I know who you are. Apparently, you're the guy who did promo art for Terrifier 3. Is this true?
Well, let's see here. Hold on.
Uh,
Just a
that's
little
who he
bit
is.
of just
That's
one of the popcorn buckets. Um, yep. So yes, that is true. It is. I I did all the photos for Terrifier 3.
nice. That's what's up, dude. I know that, because you work with videography, you do directing and stuff. Like, did that help you get into that world, or is it just kind of like you made good friends and you know good people?
Uh, I mean, I think it's kind of everything, right? It's like
Yeah.
I can make a good friend. Me and you can become friends, but if I don't have any skill sets to go with, you're like, hey, I want to interview for a podcast, but I'm not a singer. I'm just nobody. I'm just a cool person. Like, he's like, well, I guess I don't really have anything to talk to you about. So it's kind of everything, It's having the skill set, but then also just putting yourself out there and meeting people and, doing good. And it all just sort of culminates into one thing where I was in the right place at the right time with my work that I had. And then Damian Leone was just he's like, yeah, I'd love to have you come shoot it. And I didn't even know it was Terrifier 3. I just answered a fucking Instagram story. and then and I was like,
Like,
sure,
I
well, I'll
need
do
this,
this.
and you're like,
I was
sure,
like,
what's up?
yeah, I was like, I'll do it. I'll shoot. And then that's when the next day when I went on set, I was like, oh, this is Terrifier
Oh,
3. Yeah. Had no
yeah.
idea.
Just like I just happenstanced into this. Oh well, I get. Oh shucks.
Yep, that's it. Oh, all right. I'll be here for the next 3 months it was or something like that.
Right. So like, how would you compare that, like, doing that compared to like doing band stuff? Like, I'm sure there's a different vibe from, Hollywood vibe to rock star musician DIY vibes.
Um, I mean, it's like completely two different worlds. I don't even tell people I'm in number 12 the majority of the time. It's just like, it's too confusing to explain. Like, oh yeah, I scream. Like, what? They don't get, like, who are you? Like, what does that mean? So I don't even talk about number 12. When I'm in that world with the movies, I just, number 12 doesn't exist. If they want to ask me about it, sure, but it's just a completely different.
I was gonna, I was gonna say, like, I'm sure like at least like one or two, maybe three people have been like, well, aren't you?
It's usually somebody in like the camera or lighting department. It's always one of these like tattooed, stronger dudes. Is like, hey, I'm like, yep. But otherwise, I don't talk about it. I try. I like to keep them separate.
So humble.
Isn't it? It's too like we just spent 45 minutes talking about how weird number 12 is. Now I'm entering into this world of Hollywood. Could you imagine me trying to explain what we already know to someone who knows nothing about it? Fuck no. I'm like, let's just work. Let's get to work. You don't need to know about my
You
personal.
got 2, 3 hours. I can try to like dissect this into sections for you.
It's like, do they want to hear about the lyric to the Devil's Dick Disaster? No, no one does. Like, let's just carry on.
I feel like that maybe like you could just like, you can enter that world of stand-up comedy and you just all your punchlines are just the song titles for number 12 looks like you. Like I think
Yeah.
I don't think there's a band with more like I know there are bands that try to make it their bread and butter to like write like random like song titles, but I don't think they get any more random than the number 12 looks like you.
And what's funny is that they're not even random to me. It may sound me and Alex, we were just talking about this because we're finishing up this new song and we were just talking about like, isn't it weird that other people find us weird? Because we don't think we're weird at all. Like when we heard this song that we finished, we're like, well, this is great. This feels really awesome. And then you send it to some people, you send it to the label, send it to your best friend, you send it to some friends. They hear like this is the like I think one of the responses was, "This is psychopath music," and it's like, oh, I guess it is weird if you, I guess it is kind of bizarre, but like we don't think it's weird. So when I think of our song titles, they're like very personal, they're very real, and they don't come out of nowhere. They actually all have meaning. So to everyone else, they're like, the devil's dick disaster. Like, what in the fuck? But I'm just like, yeah, yeah, it's about one of our oldest friends and his crack addiction, and a crack pipe is called the devil's dick, and the disaster he went through of relapsing when he was smoking crack. So the devil's dick disaster. So it's all very like serious,
It,
like content, but just looked at it by a different, looked at it in a different way.
like you got to shed it. Sometimes you need a different lens to see the picture more clear.
It's either that, or I always say just take a step to the side and look at it from a different angle, and then you're like, oh,
I mean, how do you like with because obviously, the Devil's Dick disaster, the lyrical content of that song has to deal with this man's trials and tribulations. Like, is every song kind of like that? Like, we chose the song title because it fits the lyrical motif, and it's never like this song's randomly titled Jaywalking Backwards because it's just called that. But it's like it actually has like lyrical meaning within the song.
yeah. I think the only, I would say there's probably one song on Rosie Red that was like super random because we ran out of time and we're like, we need a song title now. It's going to print, and then we're like, Bambi the Hooker and our case of beer, and that was it. But like outside of that song title, every every song title has is connected directly to the lyrics. Any of them.
No. It's some people like, oh, to be a cool like core band you got to have random song titles. It's like, nah. number like you'd think like the insanity of the number 12 looks like, it's like, no, these song titles actually mean something. That's sick as hell, dude.
Thanks, man. Yeah. And look, I know that we come from the era of really weird really weird song titles. I know that that's our era. Like that's the world that we come from. But yeah, ours all like they all check out.
Yeah, they passed inspection. They was like,
That's
no,
right.
no, no.
That's right. That's right.
Nothing is meaningless in the number
That's right.
12 looks like you.
No,
That's culture. That's Kino. It's cinema.
that's right. That's right. Nothing is meaningless in our band.
That's right. That's what's up, man. Like, um, so what is like the songwriting process for you? Because we went over a little bit, like, it's very like you got to have some level of scrutiny and you got to make sure it's representative of yourself. But like when you get is it like you write lyrics first and then you try to fit them onto instrumentals, or are you listening to something and you're just like, this fits here? I mean, what's the process like for you, my friend?
It's always kind of different. Just like how random our songs are, the way they all begin are also quite random. So it's usually Alex starting, Alex will start up a riff or a drum beat or something, and then we're just sitting at his house, and he's like, "Oh, I've got this," and then I'm like, "Oh, I've got these lyrics," and we'll just sort of build from there and just let it kind of go. But yeah, it always kind of just started with Alex, and he'll just play a riff, and then it'll spark like, "Oh, that's really cool. It makes me feel like this. What if we went into a feeling that went into this?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, like this." I'm like, "Actually, do that, and I'll have lyrics that talk about this feeling." And so it's just sort of, and then just it just takes that like micro spark of hearing something that makes you feel something, and you're like, oh man, that makes me pissed, or like, man, that's so weird and complicated. Let's go straightforward for this part, and then just it just all like starts pouring out. But you usually got
That's
to like walk into a dark room with a flashlight and try to search for a little bit before you find the
yeah.
switch and turn it all on.
So you would say it's like a collaborative effort, like the band works
100%.
together.
100%.
Nice. They don't just lock you in that dark room with a flashlight, like, come back here with 12 songs, bro.
No, no, we're all like, Alex will he'll see the lyrics like, oh, that's cool. Why don't you change this line? Or Alex will send me a structure of a song like, oh, this is cool. Cut this part. Let's extend this part. And so it's just constant like that, constantly. Um, and we're also like again, I think the reason why we discovered this in our recent years, which is like took us 2 fucking decades to realize it, but like we're like, man, is the reason why we have music that doesn't make sense because we get so bored of a like you write a song like jaywalking backwards, and then you write all those parts and you keep moving on to the next part, and you never repeat a part until the very end, maybe. And it's like, is the reason why we have so many songs that are so weird because we get so bored of a structure and a riff and a style that we just try to change everything for the next song. Whereas a lot of bands have structure, they have a very formulaic feeling. You hear a band, you're like, oh yeah, this is the, you know, Green Day plays this kind of punk part and they have this kind of chorus where like us, we're just constantly like, all right, we did this already, bored, next. And we're constantly searching, like just trying to move forward in the unknown territory. Always like just keep moving forward and don't go backwards. And so that's sort of like part of the fun part of writing is like trying to find what other genre we haven't touched upon and that we haven't
Yeah,
played.
that's what's up. So like since it's always been a collaborative process, like because I know Number 12 used to be a dual vocalist band. You guys had two guys screaming. Do you find it's like different, easier, harder now that it's kind of like you're the only vocalist man, or like what would you say is the difference between now and then?
Um, I mean, it's just different. You know, you got
Yeah.
another singer that you started this whole thing off with, and then they're gone, and then
Yeah.
now you're not. So it's not like you had two guitarists and now you just have one guitar. It's like
Yeah.
you could literally you lose a human being with their own sound in front of the stage. So it's just different. It's not better, it's not worse. It's just different. It's when it talks about the old stuff in regards to the old material, it's tough because I'm trying to do all the vocal parts, you know. But we
Yeah.
make it happen. And then with the new stuff, it's just more, we are that band now. But back then, it was just, again, everyone's got one vocalist. Well, we have two. And again, it was just always whatever was different, you know?
Oh yeah. I think you guys are like a pioneer in that too, because like, bands like Dance Gavin Dance, like two vocalist thing, like Singo Screamo guy, they popularizing that. But like you guys were like, we're gonna have two Screamo guys.
Yes, we were going to have two, and it's going to be double obnoxious.
I actually like when I first started doing music, like we had two Screamo guys. It was kind of just like you scream high, I scream low. Like
Yep. That was similar to conversations we've had.
and then there's no like, there's no sense or rhyme or reason to it. It's just like that's my buddy. I'm buddy. We just all want to be in a band, and we're like he's really good at the low stuff. I'm really good at the high stuff. Okay, we'll just make it work, and then there you go.
That's it. Yeah, that's literally it. Teenagers.
Right? Pretty much, man. You can't knock that. So like with that, like I feel like you can't really pigeonhole Number 12 into a genre, but I'm sure over the years you've had many random genre thrown at you from metalcore to screamo to mathcore to swancore, whatever the hell people come up with these days when they're alone in their room on some message board. Um, have you ever heard a genre that you like identify with? Because I know I've asked Thomas Eric this, and at the end of the day, he's like, I'm just in a punk band, dude. Like it doesn't sound like what's on the radio. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. Um, you'll get a different answer depending on who you ask in our bands. Me, my own opinion, I think I always like to just joke around. It's extremo, because everyone's like, oh, you're like grindcore, you're mathcore, you're screamo, you're proggy, you're jazz, inspired. I'm just like, we're extremo. It's extreme emo. That's it.
That makes sense because, like, I think because back in the day, MySpace had like you could put genres under your thing, and I think at one point I can't really recall, but I remember I think extreme experimental was like all you guys had, where it
Yeah,
was just extreme and it's experimental. That's it. That's all you
that's
need to know.
that's literally it. Extreme experimental. So I just say extremo.
That's perfect. I think yeah, I think we got to make a whole record label just for extremo now. Like you guys
That's
got to have
right.
to start. Your
We'll,
own
we'll
festival, just Extremo Fest.
Extremo. It's gonna just be all obnoxious bands like us.
I can already like the marketing for that would be insane because like with the early 2000s, late 90s, we're all about extreme, and I think
Yeah, absolutely.
you just get a high half pipe, I'm sure Vans Warped Tour is gonna be like, hey, that's all right. It's like, no, we're extreme. It's
We're
different.
extreme. We're gonna get extra dust in the air, like wherever you saw Warped Tour. We're just gonna put it everywhere. Put it behind fans, just blow dust in people's faces.
It's extreme. You just have
Extreme.
just big jumbotrons playing XFL, just the extreme.
Extremo, though. Extremo.
We can copyright that.
That's right. I should.
Hurry before this interview comes.
Yeah, it's true. It's kind of too, it'll be too late by the
People's
time I
gonna be
get
like, write
to
that down, write that down, write that down.
it. True.
Very cool, man. Let's see. Would you be down to answer some fan questions at this time?
Sure. We'll do a speed round.
I don't want to take up too much of your time. I know
Oh,
you're a
it's all
busy
good.
man.
Yes, I do have to run, so that's why let's do it. We'll speed
All
round it.
right, cool. We'll speed round it. We don't have to waste too much time thinking on these. All right. Um, At the New Daisy in Memphis, we saw you guys open for Thursday and Minus the Bear, one of the sickest lineups we'd ever seen. We approached you guys at your merch area and told you one of our companions had been injured by a burn and couldn't attend the show. You signed a shirt for him and we picked up and carried you around one of the bandmates for a second. Y'all were very nice that day and radical on stage. I was lucky to see you again a couple years later with Fear Before the March of Flames, and was so damn impressed at the growth. If you could just tell one of them that, and that was Heath C. Merchant.
That's that's a great find on that one.
All
Yes, his name
right.
is
I don't know if that was you, but they wanted you to know that. That's not even a question, but they wanted you to know that.
Thank you, Heath. That is a great memory. Great memory.
Let's see. Elliot Thornside says, "What does the number 12 look like?"
You.
JP Dalgran asks, "What does the number 11 look like?"
The face when you get angry and you see these
Yeah.
11s, it looks like anger. That's it. That's the number 11.
Let's see. Shelby Aswaf asks, no questions, just Worse Than Alone is a gem in my collection. After searching for years, I found a copy in the wild during comic book day one year because it was right next to a CD warehouse.
Whoa, hell yeah. Wow, CD Warehouse, amazing. Well, thank you. The Worse Than Alone, I feel the same way. What a gem.
That's crazy to find that on a comic book day too. That's what's up.
Listen, people are getting to the age now where they got kids and they're trying to get rid of shit.
George Gutierrez asks, what does the number 0 through 10 look like? I'm sorry about my comment section.
0 through 10. I mean, uh, for speed rounds, this isn't gonna. I need time to think about that. It took long enough to copy the number 12 looks like you from Twilight Zone.
Was there ever like a moment when you guys were like the number 12 looks like you, like where you guys were like maybe we should make it 13 or 14, like was there ever, or was it just like no, it has to be 12?
No, it was just more like I said, Twilight Zone. We just loved the show and we loved how weird it was. I mean, that's kind of look at all the different bands from the era. They all kind of took it from something, you know?
Right. I mean, my friend Jake Duffney asked, like, I got too many people asking what the number 12 looks like, so it's you guys, come
It's
on, man,
you
stop
guys,
asking.
it's you. The number 12 looks like you. It's our band name.
Okay, Tyler Pierce asks, do you take sugar and cream or do you rather sugar or cream?
Only almond milk. I don't like cream. I don't like sugar.
I don't blame you. I use creamer. I don't use sugar. It's the creamer's got
No.
enough sugar in it. I'm sweet enough.
If the creamer has sugar, I won't even have it. I'll just have it black.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame you for that, man. There's sugar's bad for you, especially as
Sugar
we
is
get
bad for you.
older. Yeah, as we
I
get older, the teeth start falling out. I'm not a fan. I
no,
like my teeth.
I like my teeth too. So no sugar.
Jimmy Schaefer asks, I want to know what made them choose My Sharona to cover. I love it, but I'd love to know why.
Um, Me and Alex were sitting in his living room one day. It came up on like VH1, and we said, "How funny would it be to cover this?" And that was it.
I mean, that's
As
that
random as that.
right. I think that kind of fits the theme, you know?
It really was that. That's all. That's literally what happened. And that conversation turned into like us reaching out to the band. And then I was like, I'll go like, my, woo. So we were like doing it as we were watching it. And that was it.
I feel like you guys deserve a little more credit for kind of like, because everyone's like, "Oh, Stay Fly by Devil Wears Prada" or "Crank That" by I Set My Friends on Fire. I I honestly, like me personally, I think My Sharona's the first time I heard a band like "Pop Goes Crunk" or "Pop Goes Punk,"
Yeah.
whatever the term is. I
Yeah.
I feel like that definitely belonged on one of those compilations. It wasn't on. I don't think. No,
Nope.
you guys
Never.
did that yourselves. No one prompted you. You guys were watching VH1 and just like, "That's a smart idea. Let's just do that."
That was it. And as we were watching it, we were mimicking what we were gonna do. Alex was like, "I'll go for here. I'll go jun 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 jun," and I'm like, my. And I was like, "We can scream this whole weird end." Like we were like doing it in real time as we were watching it, and that was it.
I remember like when I first started like, learning I could scream, which was basically just, mimicking dinosaur noises because I was a kid and I thought being a T-Rex was cool, hence the
Yeah,
name, I guess.
it is
But
cool.
just I used to scream the turtles so happy together, and it's because it just doesn't, that song is obviously not a screamo song, but
That
it
works.
worked.
That's it. That's all that matters.
All right, so last question because I don't want to take up all your time today. I know you're a busy man.
All good.
Alex Alex McCurdy asks, when did you discover the Fountain of Youth, and what is your skincare routine?
So I don't know why this has become a thing. People asking me about my skincare routine. It's like,
You got good skin, man. I can't. I'm 37, dude, and I look like a catcher's mitt. So
I mean, you also live in the desert, so let's be, give yourself a little credit. This
you live in
is,
New Jersey, though.
it's true. I should be stressed out and looking hungover and, whatever Jersey people look like. Um, Skincare routine. I do my exfoliating 2 to 3 times a week. I do my regular face wash. I drink a lot of water. I have It Cosmetics face moisturizer. Um, and I drink. I say I drink a lot of water, and I work out a lot. And the sweating is very good for your skin.
Hmm.
And I'm also half Filipino. I just kind of was born with it, so it's like there's also that unfair advantage. But yeah, that's that's my routine.
No sugar.
And I've never drank alcohol. I've never smoked anything in my life. I've never done a single never done anything in my life. So I think that all that combined, there you go.
Skincare by Jesse Korman. I think that there's a video content right there. Like you could just put little like cucumbers on your eyes and just
I don't even
talking
do
about that
that,
next single. That'd be
dude.
genius, dude. You
I
got the skin for it.
I mean, I can like do little interstitial videos that try to get Sephora to sponsor, and I try it out. And then at the end, I like scream ahead one of the new Number 12 songs as a plug. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Alex McCurdy had one more question. I guess this also deals with your skincare. When did you and Eric Nally become vampires?
Probably when we first met in the early 2000s. And that was it. We've been best friends since then.
I do want to shout out because I saw you at Killiconic and you did guest vocals during Ghost Animals. I believe you do guest vocals on the album as well.
That's true.
You and Foxy guy, you guys go way back, but that performance, that is like my favorite Foxy Shazam song, and to have you live do it, that was just wow. And just everything they've done with the Peacemaker thing, I believe you had some involvement in that with the Peacemaker thing. Just to see them arise and just you guys like still making music after all these years, it's just it warms my heart because I'm a 37-year-old scene kid. I used to argue with people, I'm not emo, I'm scene, but just to see you guys on a great show, and not just like, oh, you guys doing a TV thing, I guess it's okay. It's like
Yeah.
Peacemaker is a good show, and just to have we need to have number 12 on the next season for sure. I think
I mean, look, the Peacemaker thing, that's all Foxy. I had nothing to do. That was all James Gunn being obsessed with the band. And my only involvement with that is I was with them when we made when the band made Oh Lord. I remember we tracked the demo in Eric's basement for when we were working on the new songs, and then his basement flooded and almost ruined all of my recording gear. And so to see Oh Lord have this fucking huge comeback all these years later. I mean, that's all them. I got nothing to do with that. That's all them. Just people believing in that band.
I think more people should, and you made the recording survive the flood, so I think that deserves more credit to it.
Thank you, thank you.
So usually to wrap up my interviews, I like to shout out a few bands that I am listening to and I help support. I promote bands. I'm always on the
Sure.
hunt new bands to support. But while I bring out my Spotify playlist, I was going to ask, are there any bands that you would like to shout out? Any homies you want to give the old, like, hey, go check these guys out? Or just any bands you've loved touring with over the years, or just any bands in general that you're listening to in your off time where you're just like, this motivates me, this inspires me.
Um, I mean, the stuff that I listen to is just it's been out for so long, and when I'm not listening to that kind of stuff, I'm just kind of sitting in silence a lot of the time. Or I listen to old like lately just instrumentals like Herb Alpert, and it's just a bunch of horns, and just sounds like I live like it just sounds like a movie soundtrack where I just live in this like sitcom. Because it's just easy where I can like think. So yeah, I'm not really listening to anything new, to be honest. I'm sure there's something that will come to mind once we hang up, but nothing at the current moment.
Any homies you want to shout out that you've worked with maybe on a video recently or in the past that you're just really
Um,
proud of?
I there is, but I always get afraid of doing stuff like that because then I feel like I say one group of people and then some other people will be like, "What the hell? I didn't get." So I just keep everybody at bay and I just don't say anything about anybody because then I get in trouble for forgetting somebody.
Uh, I get it, man. I know how George gets. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. You get me.
No, I get it 100%. Well, I run a playlist called Ryan Rex Current Wave, and top of the list is Nothing Shameful. They just announced today that they got an Andrew Wells feature from Dance Gavin Dance. They're working with Chris Crummett, who's worked with lots of awesome bands. And they got that they got a whole Kickstarter. They're, trying to get a new album out. They got a good producer, they got a good feature. So if anyone listening wants some new music on the horizon that's got a good producer and a good feature, check out Nothing Shameful. I work with a Static Lullaby, and I'm always going to shout out a Static Lullaby because I love those dudes. They're great. They're from SoCal, just like me. If you've never listened to Rattlesnake, that is a very underrated album. Check it out, please. And uh, I got New Juliet. They have a new song coming out on Valentine's Day. Their last song, Montague, New Juliet, Montague. It's all Romeo, star-crossed lovers. Where can you go wrong? We have Arsenic Kitchen. I've been listening to It Happened on Fleet Street quite a bit. It's you gotta love horror references in your music, and I think more people should reference horror movies because who doesn't love a good horror movie, right? Steve has a new song that just came out, "The Benevolence of Lunacy in the 21st Century," which I just think is a really cool song title. It's long and it deals with the subject matter in their song. So I mean, it's kind of like Number 12 Looks Like You, where the song title's just not long for fun. It actually deals with what's going on in the song. I mean, look, it ties in.
Ties in.
And shout out Skydrifter. If you never heard of Skydrifter, they got great music. They got a new song called Observer out, and Fair Play. They just got a new song out. They're blowing up on that. I've stuck on Still Not Over It, not even close. It's a great song. But check out Lives Lost, Haunted. They have a song out with Kellen Quinn. That's always cool. Who doesn't like Kellen Quinn of Sleeping with Sirens? That guy's cool. Um, and check out Discord Theory. They have a new song out called Fashionably Late. I'm Ryan Rex Rex, and this has been Warp Taste Podcast. I'm very appreciative of Jesse giving me his time today. This has been a long time coming. Thank you, Jesse, so much for making the time today. I know that you've bent over backwards to make sure this happened, so I appreciate you actually coming
Well, a
through,
man of my
man. Like
word. I'm a man of my word.
I appreciate them, and not a lot of people. I've interviewed a lot of artists. I've been doing this a long time. I think this is like my sixth year of doing it, so. I got to give you kudos, man, for being a man of your word because
Of
you
course,
cool as
man.
hell and your band's great. Jaywalking Backwards is probably one of my favorite songs in the whole wide
Ah,
world. It
thank you,
fits my
thank you,
brain chemistry right. It goes fast, it goes slow. It's just it's great, man, and I
thank you,
appreciate
thank you.
everything. I can't wait to hear new Number 12 if it's coming. You never know. I don't know. Lip seal TBA. We don't know. Once it's announced, it's announced. Maybe we'll talk about it then. But thank you for your time today, Jesse.
You
Appreciate you,
got
man.
it. You got it, Ryan. All right, man.
Where can people follow you on social media so they can get more Number 12 Looks Like You?
Just follow either number 12's Instagram or mine, Jesse Korman.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much for joining us today on Warp Taste Podcast. This has been a great interview. Thank you so much again, Jesse. You have yourself a lovely day.
You too, man. Talk soon.
Take care.
Ciao.